Welcome, welcome neighbors to Oviedo's virtual park bench, where Oviedo residents and businesses are featured so that you can learn more about them and hopefully go out and support them. I am your host, Kellie Blackwell. I'm a residential realtor for Oviedo and the surrounding Central Florida area. And I'm also the proud sponsor for a website dedicated to the city of Oviedo. So it's designed for Oviedo residents and surrounding neighbors to go and find Oviedo news, information about upcoming community events, homes that are for sale, as well as coupons and deals that are offered by local businesses. I do hope you'll go check it out. It's at parkbench.com/Oviedo, OVIEDO. There is also a newsletter you can sign up for there if you'd rather have the information pushed out to you, and that's offered on, I believe, a weekly or bi-weekly basis. So please check it out. I'd love for you to give me some feedback as well. Today, I'm really happy to be here next to local Oviedo resident and artist, Sarah Johnston of Sarah Johnston Ceramics. And we're going to learn a little bit more about her and her craft today. So welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we met for the first time actually back in December at an event. And I learned there that you grew up with a mother as an artist.
I did, yes.
And you've been around art your whole life, which kind of led you in that direction. Yes. But I know you didn't start out in ceramics. And so if you wouldn't mind sharing your journey, where you started and where you are today.
Yeah. So I, like you said, grew up with my mother as an artist. So there was art all over the house all the time. And it's always been my passion. And I actually did go to art school and really was interested in printmaking and ceramics. And from there, I started working with troubled teens. It was an opportunity to teach art, but also work with kids that had some really hard times in their lives and really needed a different form of education. So I was the art teacher, but what happens with art a lot is that people start expressing their feelings and emotions.
Absolutely.
So that really led more to counseling and social work. So I ended up doing more social work and more counseling and less art through the years. And I did that for about 10 years, and it was really emotionally taxing because people just deal with really extreme circumstances, and their resilience in human spirit is amazing. But it did start weighing on me. So I started working at a senior center and ran a senior center for an additional 6 years. Again, I taught art, but ended up doing a lot more social work and a lot more paperwork and things like that. So I really my soul really needed more art. So that's whenever we moved to this area and I started my business.
Perfect. Well, and art is a release for a lot of people, whether it's music or playmaking or, whatever. So I can imagine what you encountered along the way.
Yeah.
I didn't know that part. So that's a cool story.
Yeah. It's really amazing. Even people that feel like they can't be creative, it's a natural part of our makeup, I believe, even if it doesn't feel like you're the best at it. Most people, when they open up creatively, really get something out of it.
So where did you said you ended up here, but where did you start out, and how on earth did you end up in little Oviedo? Well, not that little anymore, but little Oviedo, Florida, out of all of Florida.
Well, my husband, we lived in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which has some pretty brutal weather sometimes. And my husband and I were pretty sick of it. And so we wanted to move somewhere warm. And he got a job at UCF. So we were looking at areas to be, and Oviedo is such a cool, quirky area that's got a lot of opportunity for nature, but also the small businesses, and the personality of Oviedo was very unique. In a place that has a lot of development going on, it felt like there was a really strong soul here. So we found a place right near Lake Jessup, and it has been a really great experience.
And you're right. The more and more of these interviews I do, I mean, it's just even though there's a lot of development and growth going on, still today, there's a lot of community support. So all the businesses seem to work together, and they do, hold events together and support each other, and the residents as well. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I think it's hard to find a place where people care about the history of it, but still want to develop and hold those two equally as sacred. It's
absolutely
neat. Yeah.
All right. So what do you think makes you and or your work stand out from other artists or art that's out there?
Yeah. I was thinking a lot about this question, and the first thing I wanted to do when we moved to Oviedo was get some house numbers on my home. And I started researching and realizing there weren't a lot of handmade home house numbers available. There were a few places in Florida, but they weren't in Central Florida at all. And so I started making tiles, number tiles. This is an example, but so number tiles and then image tiles as well, and then the ceramic frames that they go in, and they have 4 holes that can easily be attached to your home.
Wait, don't put it down yet.
Don't put it down. Okay.
She's got numbers, but then she's doing pictures. I know with you you have 2 dogs, so maybe you can personalize it, which I think is really cool to give your home a unique.
Yes. So that's what I think. So the numbered tiles and the address plaques themselves, I think, are unique, but I also really love people, and through social work and my whole life, people and their interests have always intrigued me. And I know I want my home to have a personal touch. So I have, I want to say maybe 30 different images on my website at sarahjohnstonceramics.com. And like you said, they do tend to have animal themes, and specifically dog themes, because so many people actually ask to have their dogs or their cats on their address plaques. So the combination of the address plaques and then really being able to put your personal touch on it is very unique. And it's not this really extreme home renovation project to put some personal touch to your home. And so it's a kind of like a low cost way to just bring warmth and personality to your home.
And we didn't plan this, but her saying this reminds me, one of the biggest things as a realtor that we tell people they can do for curb appeal when you're ready to sell is unique numbering on your home. It really changes the character of your home. And the fact that there's these, custom crafted ones that she's offering really ties into what I do.
Yeah.
So go figure.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I've done is I've found ways to bring those same images into things in the home. So, for example, this is a magnet. So it matches the tile. And I have those images on mugs and planters and things. So it's just a way to kind of bring warmth to your home that isn't, remodeling a whole part. It's pretty simple, and it's brings a lot of character.
Great. All right. So do you take special requests? This is a multi-part.
Yeah.
If so, what has been one of your most challenging requests? And then if you don't, what would you say is your most favorite design or style of all that you do?
Yeah, so I think I feel a little repetitive, but the customizable aspect is really fun for me. It's a little overwhelming at times because I have 2 dogs. I have a daughter, but the dogs are part of the family. So when somebody asks me to do a custom portrait of their animal, it's fun, but it's also a little nerve-wracking because you want to make sure that it captures the essence of their animal.
That's true.
And so it's nerve-wracking every single time, but it's a really fun challenge, and I love doing it, and I love getting the pictures. So people will send pictures of their animals. And so you really get to know the person and their aunt. It's just
I never
a fun
thought about
thing.
that. Yeah, that would be a little intimidating, but
it is.
yeah.
And I know it doesn't need to be, but I just want to make sure the customer is happy. So I get really nervous about it until they see it. And it's always a good result, but it is challenging every time.
And then lastly, just so people can get to know you a little better, because she's a fabulous person. She has this patience of a saint, because we have been trying to get this situated for months now, and a heart of gold. So if you don't mind telling people, what else do you do besides work?
So I have a very strong work ethic. So working in my own business, which has been my dream my whole life, has created a lot of stress because I always want to be working. So I have gotten really into yoga, and also living on Lake Jessup and being in Florida, we are always taking the dogs for a walk, and we're on Seminole Trail a lot, which runs all through Oviedo, Hunter Springs. Yeah, so that's almost a daily activity, and just being outside, living on the lake and seeing all the wildlife and alligators and fish and birds, and it's brought so much
and
to
that
our
must
lives.
Inspire some of your work too, right?
Yeah, it does. It's funny. This is a blue heron, but they've become my favorite bird because they're always on our dock. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that have come from my life that come into the art. So it's just all one big conglomeration of life and art, and I really love it. Excellent.
Well, I do want to wrap this up.
Sure.
I want to thank you very much for sharing a little bit about yourself and your craft.
Yes, thank you.
She is with Sarah Johnston Ceramics. This is Sarah Johnston herself. And if you don't mind, if someone were interested in seeing your wares and purchasing, how would they go about getting in touch with you?
Sure. So I have a website. It's sarahjohnstonceramics.com, and you can purchase right off of that website. I also have an Etsy shop, which is Sarah Johnston Ceramic, and I'm really accessible. So the on the website is my email account and my phone number. So either way, you can contact me through that website.
And do you only sell locally? Do you sell only in Florida, in the country? What's your reach?
Well, so I do ship all over the country. And just recently, this past holiday season, I've done a couple international orders, which have been pretty interesting. I was telling you about an order in Dubai I just finished, which was really wild, learning all the tricks and trades of shipping. But I also have done a lot of, especially with the pandemic, home, porch drop-offs and local orders and stuff. So I'm pretty accessible on all fronts.
Very good. Well, I want to thank everyone out there for watching. Once again, I'm Kellie Blackwell, residential realtor for the Oviedo and surrounding Central Florida area. I'm with Ben Laube Homes of eXp Realty. This is Sarah Johnston of Sarah Johnston Ceramics. And if you have a business or you're a resident and you would like to be featured, please reach out to me. I have a new number, so I have to read it. It is 407-890-1842. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.